this is April Moore Beasley from Money Mom, and today I just wanted to talk to you about life insurance and the different types of life insurances. Because sometimes people kind of get confused. I know you always hear term is the best, and you should only buy term. It's the least expensive. Da 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 da. And there are people that will tell you cash value policies are the best because it accumulates. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, for the right person, you have to pick the right policy. And so I was licensed in the state of Illinois in life insurance. I did sell term insurance and I have sold cash value insurance. And what I want to say is that it's very important when you're purchasing life insurance to understand your particular situation. Now, I'm going to just use myself for an example, and then I will give you an example of a policy that I sold. Me personally, at the time I got a personal policy, something that's outside of my job, I did go with the term insurance for myself and my husband. And we added a rider to that insurance for our children. So if anything was to happen to our children, we have a small policy that will take care of anything for them. And so we're all covered. What I did was when I worked for a company that sold cash value insurance policies, I got a cash value policy for my two children. And the reason I had to get cash value is because, one, you cannot sell a term policy to a minor. You can't have a term policy on a minor. So the reason for me getting the cash value policy is that because, one, they have it now. It lasts the rest of their life. It does accumulate cash value, which is not the most important part for me. The most important part for me is that in this day and age, illness is running rapid. Now, although we don't personally have any major illnesses in our family, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have any cancer, any of those type of illnesses and many more, you ultimately can be ineligible for life insurance. And children are getting these diseases younger and younger. And so this is kind of my gift for my children. Both policies are $100,000 and they are very minimum at cost. But this is a policy that they can have for the rest of their life. There's not a term connected to it. So once they become of age, they have jobs, they can take over the small premium for this policy and do with it what they want. They can sign it over to their children. They can do whatever they want with this policy, but this is ultimately my gift to them. And if at some point they become ill and uninsurable, they already have a policy in place. And that was the most important reason for me doing that for them. Now, I also sold a policy to one of my best friends. She is a cancer survivor. Yes, she's a breast cancer survivor. But she has children. And so at this time, her oldest daughter, who was like 18 or 19, became pregnant. And she needed some insurance. She needed an insurance policy on her. Well, I personally did not recommend a term policy, and this is the reason why. My girlfriend has a history of breast cancer. Breast cancer runs in her family. She was 30 years old when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The chances of her daughter getting breast cancer is very, very high. Now, her daughter, who was not employed, you can't really, for a term policy, that's only going to last her for 20, 30 years. Well, she's 19 years old. At that point in time, the policy will end. But what if at that point she develops breast cancer or any other kind of illness? She will be uninsurable because that policy would only take her to like maybe 40 or so. And she would be uninsurable. Well, with the cash value policy, it's only $100,000, but it's going to last her the rest of her life. So if she does become uninsurable, she still already has something. It was at minimum cost. It's for the rest of her life, and it does accumulate a cash value. And that is why I recommended that for her, because of her family history, you don't know what can happen. And my girlfriend went through that same thing. You know, she was employed, so she was able to have insurance on her job. But if at some point she had lost her job, she was uninsurable for up to 7 years of in her remission. I think 7 years after remission or something like that. But there's a stipulation as to how many years you have to wait. So she is only just now being able to become insurable, as long as she doesn't have, and now she's in her 40s, which means now the insurance policy is going to, even if she's in perfect health, the insurance policy is definitely going to be more now based on her age than it would have been if she would have got it at the age of 19. And so when you're looking at insurance policies for your family, because I do believe strongly in covering everybody in your family, especially in this day and age, but do consider your history, your health history of your family, of your children. And I will tell you this from personal experience. It took a minute for them to approve the policy on my son because he was a premature baby. Yeah. They did approve it. It was still at a decent rate because I had to prove that he was a healthy child. He is now a healthy child, even being born at 29 weeks. At the time we got the policy, he is definitely a healthy child, and it was approved. But it just goes to show that different health-related issues can have an impact on whether you are insurable and how much your insurance will cost. So when you're looking at life insurance policies, don't just listen to what people tell you. Only term is good and cash value is not good. Understand what you are buying and understand why you are buying it. And that's my little tip for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to email mom@moneymominc.com. And if you know a mother or someone who could use this information, please share. Until next time, ta-ta.